an IDF spokesperson. Our focus is on damage, not on precision.
I condemn nothing that the Israeli government is doing.
He doesn't even care to show his bias here. It's just, yeah, Israel is fine to do whatever, but Palestinians... Ted Cruz can't help but embarrass himself time after time again. He recently went on Counterpoints, presumably to talk about his new book and anti-woke brand that nobody really cares about, but he's hoping will keep him relevant, only to find himself backed into a corner on some horrendous talking points about Israel, babbling over his words and unable to make a coherent defense about his position. The host Ryan Grimm actually did a great job just casually dismantling his nonsense. Let's first watch this clip where they discuss the phrase "from the river to the sea."
When you see leftists chanting "from the river to the sea," that means from the Jordan River to the sea. It literally means obliterate the modern state of Israel because they hate Israel and they want to eliminate the only Jewish nation in the world. That is racist and genocidal. Now, you asked earlier, would I ban that statement? No. I'd allow people to say it.
As I'm sure you know, though, in Likud's platform, it says, from the river to the sea, there will only be Israeli sovereignty. Are they suggesting genocide of all Palestinians?
Of course not.
Exactly. So if they're not, why is the other suggesting genocide?
I don't get how you can be an actual member of Congress and be this uninformed or blatantly willing to spread misinformation. You either believe that it's bad, so it's bad both ways, or it's not. You can't say it's genocide for one group, but the other group, just doesn't mean genocide because we're on their side, especially when that side is killing more civilians, when that side is bombing schools and hospitals. He doesn't even care to show his bias here. It's just, yeah, Israel is fine to do whatever, but Palestinians, they're like subhuman to him, it seems. They couldn't possibly just want to be free from the occupation. They couldn't also just want sovereignty. Like, no, they're bloodthirsty killers. And this really is just part of the hatred that has been deep-seated in Americans since 9/11 brought Islamophobia to the forefront. But it's still great to see someone so casually just shut down this kind of nonsense to someone's face. And he's just really unable to keep going. If we keep going, though, here they are later in the interview discussing some of the actions of the IDF and whether or not they're justified.
Defense Minister Gallant, we will eliminate everything. An IDF spokesperson, our focus is on damage, not on precision. Agriculture Minister Avi Dichter, we are now rolling out the Gaza Nakba. Gaza Nakba 2023, that's how it'll end. Israeli Heritage Minister Amahai Eliyahu said a nuclear bomb is, quote, one of the possibilities. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, we need sterile zones in the West Bank. Israeli President Isaac Herzog, it's an entire nation out there that is responsible. This rhetoric about civilians not aware, not involved, it's absolutely not true. They could have risen up. They could have fought against that evil regime. Another former Knesset member, there is one and only solution, which is to completely destroy Gaza before invading it. I mean destruction, like what happened in Dresden and Hiroshima without nuclear weapons. Would you join us in condemning that as well?
So I condemn nothing that the Israeli government is doing.
Okay, so there it is, clear as day, and this is exactly why we can't trust anything that these Islamophobic, bloodthirsty conservatives, and honestly a lot of Democrats now too, have to say on the matter. They're absolutely mask off about their bias in the situation. Like, Israelis, they're cool, clear to do whatever, despite the fact that they're the aggressors, and don't give me the whole, Hamas are the aggressors nonsense. You can't be occupying people, subjecting them to poverty for decades, and then plead you're not the aggressor when they retaliate. And by the way, you're killing 3 times the women and children of Hamas, almost 10,000 civilian casualties in a region that is 60% women, children, and elderly people. So it's pretty aggressive if you ask me. This type of perspective is really just sick to have, and it's unfortunately the popular opinion in Congress, it seems. We've seen officials talking about leveling Gaza, turning it into a parking lot. They're actually unable to draw a line in the sand at any point and say enough is enough. Like, this is where we stop defending this type of behavior. We shouldn't be enabling it financially, politically, in every way that we do. And here we are, though, where Ryan Grimm does a great job showing right through Ted Cruz's bias on the matter as he keeps going with this nonsense perspective.
I stand with the people of Israel, and let me explain. There is a qualitative difference. The Israeli government does not target civilians. They target military targets. The Israeli government
Why are they
has
so
stated,
bad at their targeting then? If they're killing so many
so they're
civilians?
actually not. They are.
So then they are targeting.
No, they're exceptionally good at.
Wow, yeah, it seems that Ted Cruz was thrown off by rather obvious and simple questions here. Were the IDF bad at targeting who they were going for, or did they purposely target 10,000 civilians? It's got to be one or the other. It just goes to further show not only the imperialist mentality that is present in both parties of our government, but conservatives' willingness to lie and defend anything that they deem is on their side. It doesn't matter if women and children are getting killed, if humanitarian resources are being kept from civilians. They're going to back the guys doing that, and while they're at it, they want to forget about the deal that we made with Ukraine a few days ago or decades ago to provide them aid in a much more fragile reason where we actually have reason to defend these people. It's forget that, but Israel definitely needs our help to wipe innocent Palestinians off the map. I seriously fear that if we get Republican leadership in office or even a Republican majority in the Senate where the real decisions are made, we could be looking at putting boots on the ground in the very near future in one of these two regions. Conservatives are quick to try and talk about Biden having us on the edge of World War III or World War II if it's Donald Trump, but they support things like wiping Gaza off the map, all while forgetting about Ukraine, which borders NATO allies and could quickly turn into a global catastrophe if Ukraine is taken over by Russia and then they decide to keep on expanding west. That's war, but nobody cares about that. They'd rather play to the Islamophobia that's present in America. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We're pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video, because the only way we become a society is together.